Hello everyone, my name is Lily and I'm the creative director here at Bubblegum Cartoons, and today I'm going to be showing you how I designed a comic book cover for Princess Super Crystal, which is a Demonic Crepes comic book. If you guys don't know what Demonic Crepes is, it's an animated web series that we're creating here on YouTube. However, now that YouTube has demonetized and taken comments away from anything that's animated, I have no idea where the show's gonna go.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my bad. No problem.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Oh, hey!
So without further ado, let's dive into this comic book stuff. So first of all, you're going to want to go to a comic book shop or just dig through all the comic books you have and get inspired. Look at your favorite comics and ask yourself what really makes you excited, what makes you really want to pick up this comic book, or whatever it is that really draws you into it, what really makes you want to invest in these characters, and yeah, go from there. It could be anything from color palette, it could be how the characters are staged, the title, anything about it. So definitely look through all your faves and get inspired. Next up is to make a title. So this title is really going to draw you into the story. It should really express these characters and it should express your overall mood that you're trying to establish with your comic book. Is it an action series? Is it a comedy? Is it really lighthearted? Is it going to be dark and edgy? So make sure you really communicate that with your title. This is my initial title I did. It's kind of this sort of Polly Pocket, Barbie's 1990s dream house sort of little bit of like Princess Peach and like the little jewel at the top, and I really wanted to express how like fun and loosey-goosey and girly that this comic book was going to be. So I really enjoyed like this little flag. I really enjoyed this text. I went through so many typefaces to really express this, but in the end I thought it was a little too bulky, so I just made it a title instead. But don't you worry, I used it a little bit later too. It doesn't go to waste. So now we're going to do the fun part. This is where you're going to make a super dynamic picture. So Demonic Crepes / Princess Super Crystal is kind of a comedy action series featuring a magical girl type lady called Sophie. And so I went through so many iterations of I wanted to be actiony. I wanted you to know that there's going to be like fun magical adventures in this. So I really wanted to draw the eye with Sophie like really like lifting up a hammer and like looks like she's about to like strike or something like that. And I really wanted like her bangs to be flowing, but then I realized that a lot of this wasn't really working and I wanted it to look different, and I realized that I wanted Pancake in it too, who is the demon cat, of course. So something that should seem obvious, but you should have your main characters. You should let people know like who's gonna be in this. So I have Sophie and Pancake, and Sophie has a little less of an action about to strike because it's not so much about the action in this. So her magic mochi mallet is kind of across her shoulders there, and you can see here that I'm just doing a very, very light under sketch. This is not going to be the final picture. And now I am doing the article number, so I used the same Polly Pocket shiny compacty thing as my article number. So this shows that this is the first issue of the comic book. So now I'm going in with the final line work. I outlined everything in black and I used the dry ink pen in Procreate. So this is going to be the final line work. I just lowered the opacity on the layer below. I also always like to add this like kind of grayish purple background. That way the white isn't so straining on your eyes. This will not be the final color. This is just something that I like to do in my process. So here we have Pancake. I was gonna have her, him handing her the trans-dimensional key, and then I was like, yeah, I don't know, I don't really care for that. He can just be kind of floating towards her, and she's kind of like accepting him in. I did change the color of the line work on her lace because I wanted it to be like light and fluffy. And you can see here I can loosely do things and erase them. She is in her magic mochi mallet costume right now. You can see that her little jewel that gives her power is going to be on the hammerhead. And yeah, this is really fun. I really loved how the ribbons kind of wrapped around her and kind of encapsulated her. And later I'm going to go into the background, which is also going to be super fun. So here I'm doing some like cabbage roses, which I wanted to inject some more pink because I love pink and I tend to draw in a lot of pinks and purples. So I'm also adding dimension. So these are going to be like kind of floating around her, but they're also on top of the layer. So these like, and then here we have the moon because I want to have like that Sailor Moony kind of element and clouds to like add to the dreaminess. I was looking around at my favorite like manga and comic books, and things that really pulled me in were these beautiful pastel-y midnighty colors, and so I really want to incorporate that. I wanted to be like really glowy. I wanted everything to have like this warm illuminated like yellow to everything. So for me personally, that really drew me into comic book covers. So as you can see here, I am adding more dimension and more texture. One thing that I really loved about especially Lore Olympus, which if you guys haven't read is a webcomic, is the texture. So that's one of the reasons why I use the dry ink pen while I am animating, or while I'm illustrating. So here I have a color palette. Now this is a PNG that I have saved on my iPad. That way all of my characters are always consistent. I always import this into every comic book page. I delete it later. That way her skin tone does not vary panel to panel or page to page or cover to issue. So yeah, that's what I'm doing so far. I have this fun mint color, which is a little different from the purples. It kind of pops forward. I'm adding some cute textured blush to her cheeks and some like some fun texture shading to her skirt as well to like really bump up that texture. Later I will be adding in some sparkles. So as you guys can see so far, we have our dynamic pose, we have this relationship between our main characters, we have colors that pop, we have different sorts of depth throughout this cover, we have some really cute adorable vibes, we have the issue number. I even wrote Bubblegum Cartoons Comics like as a little like kind of company name. And then I also wrote who wrote it, which is Sophie. The main character is a manga artist. So I kind of decided in this Lemony Snicket pictures of Spider-Man kind of way that she would write her own manga. So I guess I'm kind of like her ghostwriter in a way. So anyway, this is how I designed my comic book cover. Hooray! If you guys saw, I also added a multiply layer on top that was in like a deep grayish purple that added some more dimension to it. So yeah, this has been super duper fun. I hope you guys learned something. I hope this really inspired you to do the cover of your very first comic book. If you are a patron on Patreon, you can go over there and check it out right now. Go ahead and read the comic. Let me know what you think. And of course, shout out to our patrons on Patreon. I love you guys so much. You make my dreams come true. We also have physical rewards. I send you a hand-drawn sketch every single month just to you in your little mailbox. So if you guys don't have the means to give to the Patreon, don't even worry about it. Just share this video with your friends. And until next time, guys, stay inspired.